Hey everybody, it's Joel with Retro Epics, where I rewatch, revisit, and replay old school movies, games, TV shows, and more, and then rate these retro epics to see how well they stand up to the test of time. Today I'm excited to rewatch a sci-fi classic, The Matrix. The Matrix is a 1999 science fiction action film written and directed by the Wachowskis. It's the first installment of the Matrix film series starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, Hugo Weaving, and Joe Pantoliano. The film popularized a visual effect known as bullet time, in which the heightened perception of certain characters is represented by allowing the action within a shot to progress in slow motion while the camera appears to move through the scene at normal speed, allowing the sped-up movements of certain characters to be perceived normally. The Matrix also won 4 Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects, Best Film Editing, Best Sound, and Best Sound Editing. So, what's The Matrix all about? The movie starts off at a hotel where the police are swarming around Trinity, who then overpowers all of them with her superpower abilities and then runs to escape as she notices agents are following who also have superhuman powers. She's able to ultimately escape and find a ringing cell phone where she picks up the phone and immediately disappears. Meanwhile, computer hacker Neo is desperately seeking out what the Matrix means and eventually gets contacted to meet up at a club. He then follows the White Rabbit to meet Trinity at the club, where he asks about the infamous Morpheus. We then see Neo back at his office, where he is immediately contacted over his cell phone by Morpheus. Agents are after him, and Morpheus is helping him try to attempt to escape as he's able to see every turn that's happening. Ultimately, Neo's not able to make the escape as it's too dangerous and is caught by the agents. While in the interrogation room, the agents are able to manipulate him and actually implant a bug into his stomach. Neo then wakes up assuming this was all just a dream. Neo is then contacted and ultimately discovers that it was not a dream, that the bug was real, and that he's on to meet Morpheus. Morpheus then gives him the ultimate chance to take a red pill or a blue pill. The red pill allowing them to track him and find him within the Matrix and free his mind, or the blue pill to allow him to stay in the reality of the Matrix. Ultimately, Neo chooses the red pill, where reality starts to distort and he's able to transport his mind through a mirror and wake up his body in the real world, where the Nebuchadnezzar's ship comes and locates Neo and rescues him from his pod. Now that Neo is free, Morpheus tells him about what's happened in the real world, how the war against the machines has caused them to scorch the earth, and that now they are forced below ground to survive. Morpheus then brings Neo into a simulation where he's able to show him all the different things that they can do within this new world while they're jacked in. Morpheus then instructs Tank to help Neo train for the fight against the agents and the machines. Neo then learns Kung Fu, where he battles Morpheus and ultimately shows him how to bend the rules within the Matrix. Once Neo is able to show Morpheus that he's able to master these rules, they ultimately try the jump, where he fails, but has shown enough to Morpheus to convince him he is the one, and they should go meet the Oracle. While visiting the Oracle, Neo encounters many other talented kids, including one that shows him the key of bending your mind instead of bending the spoon.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
In talking with the Oracle tells Neo that he is not the one, but he is very talented, and ultimately he'll have to choose whether to save his life or Morpheus' life in the near future. After leaving the Oracle, they try to go back to the ship but are ultimately disconnected, as Cypher has tipped off the agents and is now actively working against them. Cypher is able to get back to the ship and fight off Dozer and Tank, where he then goes and slowly unplugs each of the other individuals within the Matrix, killing them instantly. As he is just about to kill Neo and prove that he is not the one, amazingly Tank gets up and shoots him with the lightning blast to save Trinity and Neo. However, during the escape, the agents are able to capture Morpheus, but allows Neo and Trinity to escape back to the ship. Neo knows that he must save Morpheus, as the Oracle told him he would have to choose between saving himself and Morpheus, and because he's not the one, he knows that he must save Morpheus. So they develop a plan to go break him out and fight the agents. As Neo and Trinity go to storm the lobby, they ensue an amazing battle between them, where they shoot out the lobby and have an epic fight scene there. As the fighting ensues, Neo gains more and more confidence, and even at one point on the rooftop is face to face with an agent, and as he tries to shoot him, the agent's able to move out of the way every time. And then when the agent returns fire, Neo is able to move just as quickly as the agents, amazing Trinity, and proving to Morpheus that he is truly the one. As Morpheus, Trinity, and Neo now try to escape the agents and ultimately get back to the Nebuchadnezzar, Morpheus and Trinity escape. However, Neo is stopped and ultimately has to fight Agent Smith and is ambushed and killed. However, Trinity then confesses her love to Neo and says that he cannot die because she was told that she wouldn't fall in love with the one, and she brings him back to life where he's able to stand up and now has a true feeling of power and the oneness within the Matrix. The agents then try to fire upon Neo, but he's able to stop the bullets in midair and control the entire reality. He then attacks Agent Smith and is able to explode him and end the conflict against the agents as they tear her away. The movie then wraps as Neo is calling the machines from within the Matrix and warning them that there must be an end to this war, and that he is going to free the minds of everyone and show them all what's possible in the real world. He then hangs up and flies away. So, how does The Matrix stand up to today's standards? Starting off with story, I gotta give this one a 9 out of 10. It's a story that resonates today, and I'd say even more so today as everyone's connected with their cell phones and the internet and everything. It's something that all of us could believe we're living in a simulated reality, and something that's even probably more true today than it was back in 1999. In terms of acting and characters, Neo, Trinity, Morpheus, they are all spot on, 10 out of 10. The other characters are kind of forgettable though. I don't even think you could name all of them, or they didn't really add a lot to the movie. So I gotta take a point off for everyone else and land on 9 out of 10 for characters. In terms of entertainment value, this is a fast-moving, action, exciting plot, something that keeps you on the edge of your seat throughout every twist and turn. The only real knock is that I think it can get a little confusing. There's a lot of references that don't make any sense until you've watched it 2 or 3 times. And so part of that confusing, not understanding the entire story, hurts a little bit for the entertainment, but I was still thoroughly enjoyed throughout the entire experience. 9 out of 10 for entertainment. In terms of visuals, this is a bit of a tough one here too, because things like bullet time and a lot of the practical camera effects still look amazing. 10 out of 10, no complaints, nothing could be better. The only thing that really knocks it down a peg is some of the computer-generated stuff looks like it's from the 90s, right? They're supposed to be 1,000 years in the future, yet things look dated. Things look, big, bulky monitors, kind of chunky 3D models on their screens. So I got to take a point off of visuals as that feels a bit dated. 9 out of 10. Sound is one of the true highlights here, as the metal music and the EDM really fit with the theme well. If you turn on the Spy Break song by Propeller Heads in that main lobby scene, you'll immediately be transported back into it. There's really not anything I can knock. Sound effects are great. Entertainment of the music and just the mood it builds is great. And so, to me, you can look at the Academy Awards it won for sound. To me, you can't complain. Again, perfect. 10 out of 10 for sound. Next one's Relevancy, and this one's a bit of a tough one here too, because honestly, usually movies don't age well with time. That the topics that they chose were based on the 80s, 90s, whatever. But I actually think this movie might be more relevant today than it was back in 1999. Again, as people are more connected to the internet, more socially active, you could, I think, more realistically say these people are trapped within inside of that same false reality today than you could back then. However, there is still a little bit of the issues with some of the other things I mentioned earlier with the CGI and the other things that feel a little bit disconnected in today's world. So again, knock it down a point, 9 out of 10. In terms of rewatchability, this movie is a great first time watch, a great second time watch, and then a less great third, fourth, fifth time watch. The key to this movie is that you're constantly guessing. You're trying to understand, what does it mean to be in the Matrix? How does the Matrix interact with everybody? And so that first time is amazing and you're constantly guessing. The second time you've started to figure some stuff out, and now you've pieced it together and you gain a little bit more value. But once you understand the storyline, it does lose a little bit time after time. But the action sequences, the fight scenes are all top notch, always entertaining. I ultimately take 1 point off, 9 out of 10 for rewatchability. So overall, how does everything rate up? Ultimately, I love the characters, I love the entertainment value, the sound is near perfect with the music and the visual effects also being top-notch. Couple of knocks for some old relevancy issues, couple of knocks for some CGI, some forgettable characters, but add it all up, you get a great rewatchable movie, 9.05 out of 10. All right, thank you everybody for watching this retro epic with me. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below if you want to tell me what other retro epics I should review in the future.